Are you committing any of the 7 deadly sins with your YouTube videos? If you want real estate leads with your videos, these mistakes are costing you views and subscribers and actual business. Well, today I'm going to help you repent and see the error of your wicked ways. Stay tuned. It's YouTube for Agents. Welcome back to YouTube for Agents, where I help real estate agents get more business for free by making YouTube videos so you can get more clients, more closings, and more commission checks. Yay! Thank you so much for joining me today. If we haven't met, my name is Karin Carr. I am a realtor in Savannah, Georgia. I am the author of the Amazon bestselling book, YouTube for Real Estate Agents. Learn how to get free real estate leads and never cold call again. So thank you so much for joining me all today. Who have we got on here live? Thank you, Jordan. I'm glad you like the thumbnail. I did not make that. That's definitely above my pay grade. But remember the movie Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman? And I found the cover for the DVD, and I was like, ooh, I should make the video thumbnail look like the cover of the movie. Hence what we got going on there. Awesome. So today we are talking about the 7 deadly sins of real estate videos. And if you recall, those 7 deadly sins are sloth, envy, gluttony, greed, wrath, pride, and lust. So now you guys are my people, and I don't want you to get struck by lightning. So I'm going to help you out today. You can consider me your guardian angel. Did you like that? We had a lot of fun making that little graphic today. So let's get on with sin number 1, which is sloth. Sloth means being lazy. So when you publish a video, if it's not doing very well, you don't have to just leave it like that. You can go back and revise it. And it's very easy, and it doesn't take very much time. So if you have a video that you felt was really good and it's just not getting the kind of traction that you want it to get, you can change the title. You can change the thumbnail. You can change the tags. You can go back and rewrite the description. You can make lots of different changes and try to breathe some new life into an older video and see if it makes a big difference. So don't be slothful. Sin number 2 is envy. Now, when it comes to envy, I'm talking about editing software envy. We all seem to have a little bit of coveting of the editing software going on, don't we? We get tons and tons of questions in our Facebook group about what are you using for editing. But you know what? I was listening to a great podcast yesterday from somebody that I follow that I think is terrific, and she uses iMovie. That's it. It's nothing fancy. It's kind of an entry-level program, quite honestly. And her videos look amazing. So it's not so much about the editing program that you use. It is more about the skill that you have in editing. So if you're doing your own editing, just take some time to learn how to use all of the features that it does have. But don't worry about thinking you need more software or a better program or more expensive software. If you want to outsource it and give it to somebody that will do the editing for you, I am all about the editing because listen, get your time back. Pay somebody a few bucks an hour to edit it for you and get your time back where you could be spent making more videos. But don't think that you need to run out and buy a better camera or a better microphone or get more expensive software because truthfully, it's not. Use what you have and just use it to the best of your ability. Alrighty, sin number 3 is greed. Now in this case, greed is actually not bad. Greed is a good thing because I'm talking about lead follow-up. And when we talk about leads, we want to get as many leads as possible. So in this case, greed is,
for lack of a better word, is good.
Wall Street, where he said greed. Greed is good. So we're talking about following up with your leads. How do we do that? And how do we even get the leads in the first place? You need to have a great call to action at the end of your video. And if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that my favorite call to action is not, call me if I can help you buy or sell a house. Instead, most of the time, your call to action is going to get them to watch another video, because the more they watch your videos, the more they go down the rabbit hole, the more they binge watch your content, the more they get to know, like, and trust you. But then eventually it's time to go for the close, right? So how do we do that? We drive them to a landing page where we offer them some sort of opt-in. What can you give them for free in exchange for their name, their email address, their phone number? So you want to be thinking about the overall sales funnel. I do video A, which gets them to watch video B, which gets them to watch video C, and then on video D, I go for the close and I say, hey, if you would like my free thing, go to the website, opt in. They're going to give you their contact information so that you can follow up with them. You want to be having this some sort of a strategy with every video you make. What is my call to action at the end of that video? It's not just thanks for watching, see you next time. We want them to take action. We want them to do something so that we can get those people into our database. Because let's face it, it's like building a house on land that you rent. When you have all of these followers on social media and all of these subscribers on YouTube, those are not our platforms. We can't follow up with those people. We need them to be in our CRM so that we can follow up with them, right? So how do we do that? We get them to opt in to something that we're offering so that they can get into our database and we can follow up with them long term. So greed is actually a good thing in this case. Now we're moving on to number 4, which is gluttony. Okay, I gotta say, I really couldn't think of anything for gluttony. I had no idea how to tie that into making videos. So as I was racking my brain, I came up with, okay, what about the overall color scheme on your homepage, on your channel page? You don't need to have every color that there is as part of your color scheme. You don't have to have every thumbnail have a completely new design and a completely different color scheme. Instead, we want to have kind of an overall color palette. So here's an example from WeVideo, which is the software program that I use for editing. I love WeVideo, and their colors are clearly pink, orange, and blue. Their channel banner has a specific color scheme. Their thumbnails have a specific color scheme. They're different. They're not identical thumbnails, but you can see that they all are part of the same color palette, and that gives the whole channel a very cohesive look. Here is another one from my friend Angelica, who is a fitness coach. She is black, white, and pink with a little bit of silver thrown in, and everything has this really cohesive color palette, which makes it look amazing, and it makes you look like you've got your act together when somebody arrives on your channel. So do take the time to think about what is the overall color scheme of the channel and make it look fabulous without going crazy. We don't need to have 3 million different colors. Like, you could have a color palette of 3 colors and it will look amazing. It will look fabulous, and you'll look really, really good to the potential clients. All right, we're getting toward the end. Now we're going to sin number 5, which is wrath. All right, what is wrath? Wrath is, ooh, doesn't it make your blood boil when you get a really nasty comment on one of your videos? You've spent so much time and effort slaving over this video, and somebody comes in and says something nasty. It is all too easy to engage with them and start a little fight going back and forth. And you can absolutely do that. If they say something and you feel like you need to defend yourself, by all means, you go for it. And do you remember this scene from Bruce Almighty? It makes me feel like this. When I start typing an answer to an angry comment or a nasty comment. But here's the thing. They are always anonymous, right? They do not have a face. They do not have a name half the time. They can write whatever they want because they know that it's completely anonymous and there's no way you're ever going to be able to come back to them and call them out on their crap. And people will say things that they would never have the guts to say to your face. So is it worth engaging in an argument with them? Most of the time I say leave it alone, because hey, any engagement on YouTube is considered good engagement, right? And so if they wrote the comment, I don't answer it. I just let it stay there. Unless, of course, it's completely inappropriate. It's swearing, it's foul, it's obscene, it is a racial slur, something like that, I would delete it, and then I would block them from ever being able to comment on a future video. But if they just say something stupid like, I hate where you live, or your nose is big, or this was the worst video I've ever seen, you can just be the bigger person, brush it off, leave it alone. You don't have to answer it. And the more you can just not pay attention to it, the less you get angry about future comments too. So I have gotten plenty of nasty comments over the years, and you know what? I just don't worry about it anymore. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. They don't have to love my content. They'll stop watching. So, but if they start doing it on a regular basis, by all means, block them. We don't need them coming in and crashing your party every single week. All right. Next, we have pride. And again, this was not actually a bad one. So when I'm talking about pride, I'm talking about your set design. What is behind you? What shows up in the camera frame? I've seen people that will record in their bedroom, and we've got a bed behind us, and half the time the bed is unmade. I actually watched a video yesterday. Thank God he was not a real estate agent. He had an unmade bed behind him. And I just thought, why? Why would you turn on your camera when that is what is in the background? So be cognizant of what is showing up on screen. You want it to be attractive and not messy. Professional, please. Have something interesting to look at, but not something that really pulls a lot of focus away from you. We want the focus to be on you. Let me show you an example of what not to do. This is a video that I made in 2015, and please, no comments on the hair. That was when I tried to dye my hair black and it never came out ever. My husband is looking at me like, oh yeah, I remember when you looked like Morticia Addams. And I thought, I'm going to film this video. I found a blank wall. I put my chair right up against the blank wall. And oh, there are so many things wrong with this set design. I mean, there's nothing behind me at all. There's no decent lighting. There was a window on one side, but not on the other side. So I have light coming from here, but nothing from here. I was using the webcam on my computer, so it's not even a great camera lens. Just as you're filming your videos, be thinking about where you are in the frame of the camera and what's behind you. We want it to look interesting and not too cluttered, and definitely not with your bed behind you, please. And if you can create a little set in your house, it can even be a corner. I love it when I see where people film and then they zoom back and we see what their actual filming space is. I've seen crazy things where people are in a closet where they took the door off the closet and they made this their little filming room, in your garage, in a corner, like in a corner of the dining room, where if we zoomed back, we would see that your area is literally this big. It's okay as long as it looks good on camera, because no one else is gonna know what's around you, right? And finally, we have the deadliest of the 7 sins, and that is lust. And by lust, I'm talking about lusting for views and therefore sharing your video in tons and tons of real estate groups. This does not help you. When you are sharing your video in all of these real estate groups, real estate agents go and watch your videos. You are subconsciously telling the YouTube algorithm that the ideal viewer for this video is a real estate agent. And YouTube's primary goal is to put the right video in front of the right person. So if all real estate agents are watching your content, it's going to start showing them more of the content based on who's been interacting with this before. That's not what we want. We want the algorithm to try to find the perfect viewer for our videos, which is somebody that wants to buy or sell a property in our market. We are not helping ourselves when we are constantly sharing our videos in all of these real estate Facebook groups just so I can say, hey, I got 200 views on my video. Well, that's awesome, but that's not your ideal viewer, and it's probably not going to end up bringing you very much business in the future. So I would encourage you to stop doing that. Just let your video be on YouTube and it will hopefully surface to the right people. Now, if your videos are not getting shown anywhere, then you've got to take a good long look at your content. Is it interesting? Are you speaking to the camera in a way that is interesting for the viewer? Are you making eye contact with the camera lens, or are you reading from a teleprompter where it sounds very artificial and stilted? You got to make your content good. Like, there's no amount of algorithm fudging that's going to make a bad video get shown to a million people. So make your content as good as it possibly can be, but then share it in places where you know those people want to see it. Like, I share my videos on Pinterest because people are on Pinterest looking for that information. And then if they click on it and go over to watch the video, it's because they were looking for the information, so they were interested in seeing that video. You can share it in buy-sell groups on Facebook if you're allowed to do that. You can share it in groups where you think that those target audience members are hanging out, as long as you're allowed to share your videos there. But I would say don't share every video that you make in 5 different real estate groups, because I don't think you're doing yourself a favor. So those are the 7 deadly sins of real estate videos. I get a lot of questions every single day, every single week about the gear that I use, the camera, the lighting, the microphone, the software. If you'd like to see all of those things that I am using, you can go to youtubeforagents.com/tools and see the entire list of stuff that I've either used in the past or I am using now. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Now go make a video.